Sobrang nakakagulat na balita. Grabe, Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero ginulat, tatanggalin na siya sa pwesto. Nagulat si Vice President VP Sara, palit Senate President na Senado. Ayon sa nakalap nating impormasyon, dapat palitan na din daw dapat si Cheese matapos niyang payagang sabihing palitan din daw dapat ang Speaker ng Kongreso. Imbes kasi simpleng pagpapaliwanag lang sana sa botohan, inuna pa niya idepensa si VP Sara sa Senado. Grabe si Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero, ginulat, tatanggalin na siya sa pwesto. Nagulat si Vice President VP Sara, palit Senate President na Senado. Tara panoorin natin.
Magandang umaga sa atin pong lahat. Very important po siguro na banggitin muna natin yung pong ilang mga usapin, no, mula po doon sa pag-archive ng impeachment proceedings laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. May mga mabibigat na mga salita, no, na binitawan mula doon. Ang atin pong pagkakaalam, ito po ay dapat pagpapaliwanag ng mga boto kung bakit po kailangang i-archive o bakit hindi dapat i-archive ito pong impeachment proceedings, no, laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero malaking bahagi po ng mga talumpati ay tungkol po sa mga pagtingin, kuro-kuro ng ilang mga senador, liderato ng Senado, laban po sa liderato ng House of Representatives. No? So, very important ho na linawin ho natin muli, nabanggit na ito kahapon ng ilan sa ating mga kasamahan sa Kongreso na magkapantay at magkahiwalay. Yung pong Senado at Kongreso. So, ibig sabihin, wala pong pakialam yung pong Senado sa internal affairs ng House of Representatives in the same manner na wala pong pakialam ang House of Representatives sa mga internal affairs ng Senado. Ito po yung prinsipyo ng interparliamentary courtesy. No? So, malaking pagbasag po yung ilan sa mga talumpati dahil meron na pong mga binabanggit na mga masasakit na mga salita at pagpapangalan. Ibig sabihin, name-calling laban po sa liderato ng House. Pero very important ho na balikan ho natin, ang totoo naman ho, yung impeachment proceedings ay hindi po tungkol sa mga personalidad. Hindi po ito tungkol sa ambisyon ng ilan, kundi ito po ay usapin ng katotohanan, ito po ay usapin ng accountability. Sa usapin po ng paggamit ng confidential funds, usapin po ito na accountability sa usapin po ng pagbabanta laban sa Pangulo ng Pilipinas, sa First Lady, at sa atin po ang House Speaker. No? So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang po ito usapin kung pro-Duterte ka o anti-Duterte ka. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang po ito usapin na kung magpalit ho ng muka, magpalit po ng akusado sa impeachment proceedings ay magbabago po ang magiging paninindigan ng House of Representatives na meron pong sole exclusive power na mag-initiate ng impeachment proceedings. Ibig sabihin, whether si Vice President Sara Duterte po ito, whether kung sino pa humang maging Vice Presidente, Pangulo ng Pilipinas, Supreme Court Justice, kung meron pong paglabag sa usapin po ng paggamit ng pondo ng bayan, pag meron pong paglabag sa usapin po ng paggamit ng confidential funds, kung meron pong Mary Grace Piatos na pumipirma sa mga confidential funds acknowledgement receipts, magpapatuloy po ang mga impeachment proceedings katulad nito. Si Vice President Sara Duterte man po ito o hindi. So, very important ho yung looking forward ng House as we move on from the archiving of the Senate of the impeachment proceedings. So, antayin po ng Kongreso, ito pong magiging resulta nito pong motion for reconsideration ng Korte Suprema. Kung ano man ho yung abutin nito, di saka ho tayo mag-usap muli. Pero I think yung pong Feb 2026 na refiling ng impeachment proceedings on the same articles, on the same reasons, katulad po ng paggamit ng confidential funds at pagbabanta laban sa mga matataas na opisyal ng pamahalaan, yun po ay magpapatuloy. In the event po na magpasya po yung 20th Congress, House of Representatives na mag-refile at daanan po muli yung pong proseso na impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte.
Kung magandang umaga po. Kung hingi lang po ako ng reaction doon sa sinasabi ni Senator Amy na leadership change tsaka, in connection po doon sa statement nyo kanina.
Well, sa dulot-dulo ho, ang magpapasya kung sino man ho yung magpapalit sa liderato po ng House of Representatives ay ang mga miyembro po ng Kongreso mismo. Hindi po mga senador, hindi anak ng Pangulo, hindi kapatid ng Pangulo ng Pilipinas. So, ibig sabihin, kung merong batayan para ho magkaroon ng palitan, mangyayari po ito batay sa pagpapasya ng mga miyembro po ng House of Representatives. Pero kailangan natin balikan po yung inabot pong mga tagumpay ng Kongreso nitong nagdaang mga panahon. Sa ilalim po ng kasalukuyang liderato, siyempre, marami pong mga landmark laws na naipasa. But most importantly, ito po yung Kongreso na talaga po nag-shepherd nito pong impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. At up until the final moment, no, dito po sa usapin po ng archiving ng impeachment complaint, yung mismong liderato po, Speaker Martin Romualdez, ay naninindigan na walang pagkakamali, tuloy ang laban sa usapin po ng katotohanan at accountability sa usapin pong ito.
Thank you, Annalie. Vivian Gulia from ABS-CBN is now recognized.
Good morning, Kong. Opo, meron kasing mga pananaw na yun daw pong pag-archive ng articles of impeachment mas mainam kesa sa pag-dismiss. Pero meron din pong mga nagsasabi na patay, yung pag-archive is equivalent to pagpatay sa impeachment, sa articles of impeachment. Kayo po, ano po yung pananaw ninyo dito? May legal issues po ba sakaling baligtarin ng Korte Suprema yung desisyon nito?
Alam po ninyo, if you genuinely fight for truth and accountability, parang you cannot afford to be cynical about proceedings. Di ba? So, we are hopeful and we are thankful that, it's unfortunate that it got archived, but we're also thankful that they did not dismiss it. Kasi nga, like what they stated, yung archiving is not exactly killing the entire thing. No? So, in the event that the MR is reconsidered, yun ho yung magiging basis for the Senate to unarchive it. Di ba? Instead of outrightly dismissing it. So, ibig sabihin, in every platform, in every proceeding, kung saan ho natin pwedeng i-exact yung accountability and truth on confidential funds in the death threats against high officials, we will go to that game. Di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kung matalo at the MR level, the next step would be obviously yung Feb 2026 na pong refiling ng impeachment case against the Vice President.
Bali, kung halimbawa po, baligtarin ng Korte Suprema yung desisyon nito, are you expecting na yung mga bumoto to archive it should also vote to resurrect the articles of impeachment?
I think so. Kasi ang batayan, bakit ho sila nag-archive, ay yung kanila pong sinasabi na mahalagang galangin po natin ang Korte Suprema. Mahalaga po na galangin po natin yung pong mga desisyon ng Korte Suprema at iwasan po natin ang pagkakaroon ng constitutional crisis. No? In the event that the Supreme Court actually reconsiders, that is the same logic that will have to apply. Di ba? So, kumbaga, but of course, that is hypothetical and we would like to be able to wait for it. No? Pero, ayun na nga, our expectation would be, they will have to reopen the proceedings in the event that the Supreme Court reconsiders.
Kung halimbawa naman po ay maging pinal na ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema na inullify itong articles of impeachment, are you saying with certainty na magkakaroon ng refiling of the articles dito sa lower chamber under the 20th Congress after February 5th?
I think House members would definitely be interested in refiling it, whichever mode it takes, no? Whether through the mode of going into the Committee on Justice, whether to the mode of going into plenary, through an automatic transmittal. Pagka naman ho, sure ka on evidence, sure ka on the justness of it, di ba? It shouldn't stop you from actually refiling it. So, it stopped us today, but, there's Feb 2026 anyway. So, I'm quite sure that House members who are interested in exacting accountability will still refile it.
Pero sa pagtingin po ba ninyo mas parang better, which route is better, the Committee on Justice or given the new requirements given by the Supreme Court, how would you assess alin ng better route po?
I mean, it's at this point, it's a matter of tactics. No, we just have to agree on, is it a just thing to do? And I'm quite certain House members will say today that it is a just thing to do. So I think if it's a tactic of doing it through the Committee on Justice or doing it through the direct transmittal route, and syempre with the new Supreme Court proceeding, syempre may bago pong mga may bagong mga rekisito po na kailangan gawin. I think we will resolve it once we get to that point. No? Pero kung ano man yan, whether through the Committee on Justice or whether through plenary, the most important thing today is, and the most important question to the nation and to Congress is, kailangan bang may managot sa usapin po ng confidential funds? May kailangan po bang managot sa pagbabanta laban sa mga matataas na opisyal ng bansa? Kung ang sagot po doon ay oo, whether it is through the Committee on Justice or whether it is through plenary, gagawin po yung mga rekisitong kailangan pong gawin para po dito.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. Let us acknowledge Marian Enriquez from TV5.
Thank you. Chair, sinabi niyo rin po kanina na kung follow-up lang po kay Ate Vivian, kung sure ka on evidence, the justness of it shouldn't stop you from filing it. Kayo po ba, sir, ngayong 20th Congress after February 5, magpa-file po ba kayo or mag-endorse kayo ng impeachment complaint against VP Sara?
I think we might be inclined to support it. Kasi wala naman nagbago, it's just the periods that had changed. So, it's the same evidence that we are talking about, not the period. So, as soon as we reach that point, if it is the House leadership's wisdom that another impeachment complaint should be filed within the new rules and new reality under the Supreme Court decision, if they do not reconsider, I think it is something that we are, in fact, inclined to support.
Sir, sinabi po pala ni retired SC Justice Adolf Escuna, no? Sinabi po niya na okay naman daw what the Senate did, yung motion for consideration, while pending, meron ngang, ang ginawa pa is in-archive. Mas better daw po yung archiving than tabling kasi it can still lead to dismissal when the matter is revived the next day. Archiving makes it safe daw from, dismissal in the meantime. Your thoughts on that, sir?
No, that's what I mentioned earlier na parang it's a bit unfortunate that they archived it, and I'm quite certain that a lot of sectors are basically crying out for justice. No? Pero very important din po to make that point. No? Yung archiving is different from an outright dismissal. Ibig sabihin, yung archiving parang tinabi lang. Even in court naman ho, ganun din yun. Parang hindi yan pinatay, tinabi lang. No? So, it's a good thing to have. Kasi nga, pag nag-relent or nag-reconsider po yung Korte Suprema, pwede ho nilang buhayin muli. Ito pong impeachment proceedings laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte.
Yung pagtitape, yung unang motion kasi po ni Senator Tito Soto is to table po muna yung pag daw pala tinable lang, pwede siyang buhayin the next day, tapos pwede nilang naman ulit nilang ipagbotohan to dismiss. So parang better daw kung i-archive na lang talaga muna.
I don't wanna talk about the tabling anymore kasi parang parliamentary rules lang naman yun eh. And basically talo na yun eh. Pero yung actual status kasi is archiving versus dismissal. No? So, I'd rather have an archive than a dismissal. Kasi yung dismissal, parang kill na yun eh. Yung archive parang diyan ka lang. Mag-antay tayo onte.
Okay ka na, Marian. Okay, Rosa Lecas from UNTV. Please proceed.
Yes, sir. Nabanggit nyo nga po na possibly sa February 2026, i-refile yung articles of impeachment na naihain na sa Senado. Pero may pinopoint out po kasi si Attorney Ernesto Francisco na petitioner doon po sa landmark case na Francisco versus House of Representatives ruling na meron daw pong nakapaloob doon sa mga articles of impeachment against the Vice President na hindi pasok dahil po during na mayor pa po daw siya ng Davao City, Education Secretary, na dapat daw po, yun pong complaint is kung kailan lang po siya nakaupo as Vice President. So, ano pong masasabi niyo doon?
Hindi ko alam Parang ngayon ko lang narinig ko yung sinabi niya, pero I'm sure, hindi naman kulang sa talino po yung mga prosecutors na magbabanggit ng mga bagay na hindi kasama doon sa kanya pong term of office. No? So, ibig sabihin, I think baka nabanggit po yun, incidental lang po towards the facts. No? Pero I'm quite sure the meat of the impeachment complaint are solely based on acts that had been undertaking during her term of office. No? So, basically, about the confidential funds, that is squarely within her term of office as Vice President. Hindi ba? Yung pong death threats against the President, the First Lady, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez, that is squarely within the term of office of the Vice President. So, hindi ko masyadong naintindihan yung pong binabanggit po ni Attorney Francisco. I respect him because he's a constitutionalist and he is the name on Francisco versus House of Representatives, which is the case that we are using today. No, pero he might be a bit wrong on his appreciation of these facts.
Doon po kasi sa articles of impeachment, meron din purong mga na-cite na cases nung pong Davao City Mayor pa lang po si Vice President Sara Duterte. So yun po yung tinutukoy niya na it seems like hindi baka po ma-question din yun pong. Pero are you confident to support this articles of impeachment if it is filed on Feb of 2026?
I think so, yeah. That has been subjected to the wisdom of Congress, of the 19th Congress. So tingin ko po, ano naman ho yun, these are incidental facts. No? The ultimate facts relating to the impeachment would be facts that had been undertaken during her term of office. That is undisputed. So parang yung mga binabanggit po ni Attorney Francisco, parang pangdagdag na lang, panggulo basically. Sorry for the term.
Okay, sir, dako lang po ako dun sa binabanggit niyo po kanina. Tama po bang sabihin na hindi kayo makakapag-conduct sa House Committee on Public Accounts ng motu proprio investigation on the allegations against those congressmen na sinasabing kontratista sa mga government-funded infrastructure projects unless merong maglatag kung sino-sino ba to at mga ebidensya?
I think so. Kasi ang totoo naman ho, we don't have a list. Hindi ba? At ang burden of proof is not on the committee. Because we never said it. Our commitment to the nation is we will conduct a review of all infrastructure projects. No? So, if in the course of the proceedings, matisod ho namin yung mga corruption allegations, ghost projects, substandard facilities, di doon ho tayo, yun po yung abutin po ng proceedings po na ito. Pero yung very specific allegation po kasi, 67 congressmen contractors. Hindi naman sa amin yan galing It came from somewhere else. No? So, unless and until there are names that are mentioned as to who these people are, parang it might be a bit premature to conduct proceedings relating to it.
Ito, natanong din po ito kay spokesperson Attorney Abante na kung sakali man nga po na may mag-lay po sa inyo na may magsabi ng mga pangalan at may magpadala ng mga ebidensya, sa tingin nyo po magiging credible yung investigation kung kayo po mismo ang magko-conduct sa mga kasamahan nyo po na allegedly ay mga kontratista?
Tingin ko naman po kasi syempre the platform will be given to the one accusing and the one accused. No? So, ibig sabihin, magsagutan sila within the tri-committee. Di ba? Doon naman ho kasi, it will be subject to scrutiny of House members na kung totoo ba yung allegation na yan. Nagsabi ka ng depensa mo, totoo ba yung depensa mo na yan? Kasi, pag maglalatagan ho ng dokumento rin meron kang pirma dito. Ba't ka pumirma dito? Congressman ka. Di ba? So, like what I stated, the commitment is kung yan ho yung abutin, mapangalanan sila at mapatunayan na talagang sangkot po sila ron, wala ho tayo sisinuhin dito.
Magpapadala na po ba kayo ng... nabuo na po ba yung committee ninyo? Puno na yung membership?
Well, meron na pong mga miyembro. So, mag-organizational meeting na po kami, I think by next week. Pero, I think the direction of the comprehensive investigation po kasi is to do it as a TRICOM. Public accounts, public works, and good government. No? So, antayin din po namin na mabuo rin po yung mga miyembro po roon.
Balak nyo na rin po bang magpadala ng formal invitation kay Baguio City Mayor Magalong?
I think yan naman po yung sinasabi natin. As soon as mabuo na po yung mga komite, magpapadala ho kami ng invitation for him to make a presentation relating to his observations. Kasi bukod naman ho doon sa kanyang allegation na may mga kongresista, legislators na involved po sa mga corruption, infrastructure corruption, may mga binabanggit din naman po siya ng mga halimbawa ng mga kontrata eh. So I think we'd like to get from him, no, ano ba yung mga halimbawa ng overpricing? Kasi meron siya sinasabi na pagka ito lang yung presyo, ito yung presyo sa kontrata, pero pagka nagpunta ka sa, pag nagkaroon ka ng market sounding or market research, ganito lang yung presyo. So I think fair po na banggitin niya po yung mga ganyang mga bagay sa komite pag nagkaroon na po ng investigation. Pero, if the presentation, for example, would include an actual allegation that, for example, majority of congressmen, legislators are involved in corruption allegations. I've heard it in one interview, na parang ganun po yung binabanggit niya. Yun po yung time na he will have to provide the names.
Thank you po. Thank you po kay Ray.
Thank you, Rose. Next is Haji Camino from Brigada News.
Good morning po, Conteri. Yung just this week, na kung di ako nakakamali, yung sa plenary ay na-adapt na nga rin po yung resolution na para mag-convene po ulit yung Quad Committee. Nakapag-organize na po ba? Nakapag-meet na po ba kayo, Kongs, with the leaders of the other three committees?
Hindi pa, kasi kailangan po munang mag-organizational meeting yung kanya-kanyang mga komite. So, ibig sabihin, as soon as yung public accounts, human rights, public order and safety, dangerous drugs, magkaroon na po ng kanilang mga organizational meeting, doon na po pwedeng mag-usap yung pong quad at makapag-convene na po ng proceedings.
Pero kung kayo po ang tatanungin kong, kasi nabanggit na po yung mga issues na pwedeng investigahan, no, sa Quad Committee. Ano po yung preferred ninyo na unahin, kumbaga, na siyasatin ng Quadcom?
Well, dalawang bagay naman po yung paulit-ulit kung binabanggit sa usapin po ng Quadcom. Una, yung estado po ng mga POGO sa Pilipinas, talaga ba naipasara na sila? Meron pa bang natitira? Pangalawa, yung po mga POGO personalities na hinahanap pa rin ho ng Quadcom. One, kumusta na ho sila? So, kasama dyan yung estado po ni dating President spokesperson Harry Roque, kasi I'm sure meron po siyang standing warrant of arrest ngayon. No? So, gusto nating malaman, for example, from the Department of Justice and from the Department of Foreign Affairs, kasi may mga binabanggit sila noong nakaraan that they will be undertaking proceedings para pauwiin po si Attorney Roque. Pangalawa, that I think they will cancel his passport, no, and they will also bid to reject yung pong asylum request po niya sa the Netherlands. So we'd like to get an update relating po to that. Tapos yung second chunk na I guess gusto nating mafokusan po, yung pong usapin po ng missing Sabongeros and its intersectionality with the Duterte drug war, kasi meron pong allegation na the kill team for the missing Sabongeros is the same kill team for the Duterte drug war. No? So, we would like to be able to talk to the whistleblower during proceedings. Totoo ba ito? At ano yung pagkakaiba nito pong kill team para sa missing Sabongeros at sa kill team po ng Duterte drug war? Kasi I'm sure para magkaibang mechanics po nun At magkaiba po yung motivations towards it. Pero ibig sabihin, if it's the same kill team, I think that's a bit, it's very concerning.
With the Quadcom, sir, tingin nyo mapupuwersa o mapuforce ba si former Secretary Roque na pauwiin dito sa Pilipinas?
Siyempre, ultimately, it should be the executive that should undertake it. No? So, gusto natin malaman, ano nang ginawa ng DFA or DOJ? Nagpunta na ba sila sa the Netherlands? Nag-submit na ba sila ng opposition dito po sa asylum request, no, ni Attorney Roque? At yung passport ba niya, nakansela na? Yung mga ganong mga tanong, I think we will have to ask them in the course of the proceedings.
Pero sir, mukhang marami-rami po yung magiging trabaho po ninyo. No? May TRICOM, may Quadcom, tapos may budget pa po. Ano pong nararamdaman niyo? Paano niyo pagsasabayin lahat po yan?
Wala naman tayo masyadong sentimiento sa ganyang mga bagay. I mean, ang oras ay oras. So, kailangan nung hatiin yung oras, no? Para sa mga... lahat yun, mahalagang usapin eh. Mahalagang usapin po yung flood control investigation, mahalagang usapin po yung Quadcom, mahalagang usapin din po yung iba pang mga bagay, no? So, tingin ko naman ho, mahaba yung oras para sa... Yung 3 araw sa Kongreso ay mahaba para mabigyan po ng panahon ang lahat pong ito.
Last na lang po, Terry. Bukod po sa issue ng flood control and other infrastructure projects, may iba pa po bang target na imbestigahan ng TRICOM? Like, for example, since kasama naman po yung good government and yung public accounts doon sa TRICOM, like yung issue po nung pag-invest ng GSIS sa online gambling, ano po kaya yan?
Yung TRICOM po kasi specific to flood control yun eh. Pero siguro as an update, hindi ko alam kung sa amin po ma-refer yung Dolomite investigation. So, we will undertake the Dolomite investigation under public accounts if it is actually referred to us. No? So, yun, I think it's another chunk of the work that we will be doing.
Thank you po. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, Haji. Please go ahead. Mapik Trinidad from Abante Radio.
Hi, sir. Good morning po. Aside from the February 2026 po na pwedeng i-refile, ano po, yun ho bang granting po na hindi talaga nasunod yung MR po ng House, meron ho bang immediate solution kung aantayin, aside from aantayin pa ho yung February 2026, ang Kamara na pwede hong gawin para ma-push through po talaga yung impeachment? At would you know po kung may plano ho bang mag-usap ang liderato ng Senate or ang Congress o kailangan pa hong hindi na gawin yun?
Well, on the impeachment articles, confidential funds and the death threats against high officials, I think we will have to wait for Feb to refile that. Kasi what are we going to do? Do another proceedings at the level of good government and whichever committee? Parang tapos na ho tayo dun eh. Umabot na tayo impeachment eh. Di ba? At very clear naman na po yung mga facts na nakuha na po ron. So, I guess the next step po talaga dyan is to just refile it by Feb 2026 pagka hindi reconsider po yung Korte Suprema. Kailangan ba mag-usap yung Senado at Kongreso? Sa ibang mausipin, pwede ho. Kailangan nila mag-usap sa budget at sa iba pang mga bagay. Pero I don't think there is a reason for them to speak on impeachment. No? Kasi may kanya-kanya naman po talagang kapangyarihan eh. Congress has the power to initiate. Senate has the power to try and decide. No? So I don't think there is an intersectionality there. Kanya-kanya po nga exclusive sole power po yan under the 1987 Constitution.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mabik. Red Mendoza from Manila Times.
Good afternoon po, Kong. Kong, ito muna, may nangyaring school shooting sa Nueva Ecija, isang injured, yung mismong shooter din ay sadly nagbaril din, but they are both injured. Ano pong reaction niyo po dito sa school shooting na to? Kasi parang medyo dumadalas po yata yung mga violence sa loob ng mga ating mga paaralan po, Kong.
Well, syempre nakikiramay po tayo doon sa mga biktima. No? In fact, kahit ata naman yung nagbaril, di ko alam, I don't know the ages actually.
Isa po, 15 years old yung biktima, yung suspect po is 18 years old.
Okay, I mean, basically bata pa talaga itong mga involved po dito sa bagay po na ito. Pero syempre, I guess at the level of the schools, yung pong security, kailangan ho talagang pag-igihan pa, hindi ba? And I'm quite sure, hindi, medyo lax, no? Yung security sa mga eskwelahan. So, kasi, ba't nakapasok yung baril, no? So, baka kailangan pong pag-aralan ng DepEd, yung pong beefing up ng mga security measures. Kung actually ba, kailangan ba talaga ng mga, yung, ano tawag dito, yung nag-check kung may metal detector, no?
Guards,
Sa
parang
mga,
ganun.
sa mga ganyan pong mga kalagayan.
Kung about doon sa impeachment, kasi I've been scouring social media over the past few days, and when merong na-mention po na quote si Attorney Dino De Leon, they're saying na the reason why they're pushing the impeachment is because they want to stop a Duterte in 2028. Di ba, well, you said nga po kanina na this is not about the Duterte, this is not about any personality, pero some people are saying that this is about Duterte. This is about 2028. This is about her possible run. And she is because siya yung pinakamalakas. So, kung yung iba nagsasabi, kung kayo po sa Congress sinasabi po ninyo na this is not about the Vice President, this is about her transgressions, this is about her yung kanyang kasalanan sa taong bayan. Yung iba po kasi sinasabi nila, this is about the Vice President herself because we want her out of 2028. What's your thought about this, Mokong?
I think you have to ask Dino that. Kasi, syempre, I didn't say it. And people naman are free to say what they want to say, no? Kasi, syempre, on the other side of the fence, di ba, parang sinasabi what the senator said about Congress, di ba, they're free to say what they want to say. Pero ako, what I'm saying is, and what I think members of Congress are saying, this is about accountability of high officers of the land, no? So, we won't, I mean, he can say what he wants to say. No? You have to ask Dino that. Pero I maintain my position na impeachment is about holding accountable high public officials.
Lasa lang po. Kasi sinabi din ni Senator Marcoleta doon sa kanyang speech nung Wednesday yata. Wednesday na siya mismo, nung time nang nandito siya sa House, hindi niya nabasa yung mismong complaint. Okay. Or hindi siya napasahan ng complaint. And the reason why is because kaya parang pakiramdam niya na parang hindi lahat ng mga members nabasa yung complaint. What's your take on this po?
Well, baka hindi naman talaga siya binigyan ng complaint. Kasi wala naman sa rules yung sinasabi po niya na yung sinasabi ng Korte Suprema ngayon na dapat lahat ng mga miyembro ng Kongreso mabigyan ng kopya ng articles of impeachment at yung supporting evidence. Yun yung bagong sinasabi po ng Korte Suprema sa kanya pong desisyon eh. Pero, I mean, dati naman ho, hindi yun yung rekisito. Ang rekisito, yung pipirma po ng mga miyembro lang ang pwedeng makakita nito pong articles of impeachment. So kung sino man ho yung nagtulak ng articles of impeachment po, direct transmittal ng panahon po na yon, baka hindi ho siya nakasama dun sa tingin nilang magsusupport ng impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. I think, I'm just speculating, pero I think baka yun po yung dahilan bakit wala siyang kopya.
Okay, thank you.
Salamat, Fred. Meron pa bang additional pahabol questions? Marian, go ahead.
Sir, kahapon nag-Thanksgiving Mass at lunch na raw po si VP Sara kasama yung kanyang team. Wala siya doon. Ano po, baka may gusto niyo po mag-komento rito even if wala pang final decision ng SC regarding sa MR. Meron na silang ganyan. And also, I think VP Sara even said na yun muna.
Una po sa lahat, hindi ko alam kung para saan yung Thanksgiving eh. So, is it actually related to the archiving of the impeachment complaint? I don't know for a fact. Unless sinabi po nila yon na yun po yung dahilan ba't sila merong Thanksgiving. No? So, I don't want to speculate as to the motivations of the dinner. No? Unless sinabi nila. Hindi ko alam eh. So, yun lang. I think we can leave it at that.
May interview po, sinabi po niya she explained what she what she meant when she said she wanted a bloodbath. Yun nga, mailabas daw sana yung mga ebidensya, lahat talaga. Kaso, wala na raw yun ngayon. So, probably 2026, 2027, 2028, at least daw dun baka may opportunity, may magpa-file ulit, dun daw masasagot niya.
Yeah, then the bloodbath will come at that point. Di ba? I mean, siya naman po yung I mean, I didn't say it. She said it. So, if the bloodbath would not come today, then maybe in the future.
Salamat, Marian. And before we formally end our press conference, we call on Chairman Terry for his final message.
Siguro, panghuli na lang pong punto, no? Doon sa usapin nga po nitong, I guess, attacks on the House leadership. Tuloy lang naman ho yung trabaho po ng House of Representatives. Sobrang dami pong mga usapin na nasa kanya pong plato ngayon. No? So, very important po in the final 3 years of the Marcos administration, naramdaman po ng mga kababayan po natin yung pong gains ng ekonomiya. At bahagi po nito talaga yung pong pagtitiyak na mababa ang presyo ng pagkain, particular ng bigas, mababa po yung presyo ng mga batayang mga gastusin, katulad po ng kuryente. At syempre, bahagi rin po yung pong pagtitiyak po na yung mga bagay na hindi nakakain ng taong bayan pero mahalaga sa kanya, mahalaga sa demokrasya, ay talaga maipagtanggol pa rin po ng Kongreso. So kasama ho dito yung pong pag-hold accountable ng high public officials sa kanila pong mga ginagawa habang sila po ay nasa tungkulin. So it is a setback na na-archive po itong impeachment proceedings laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, pero I think the House leadership had already made it clear na bagamat nangyari po ito, tuloy po ang laban. So yun po muna. Maraming salamat at magandang tanghali.
Ngayon, ikaw, bilang Pilipino, ano ang masasabi mo at reaksyon sa balitang ito? Mag-iwan ka ng komento sa ibaba at atin pong babasahin isa-isa.